Every serious blogger should be concerned with blog statistics. Accurate and detailed stats can tell you what your readers are reading most, and in some cases, how they found your site. Although WordPress.com blogs include a stats feature, a self-hosted WordPress blog does not. Instead, the feature can be added through the use of a plugin. Although there are many plugins that can provide stats information, one of them works seamlessly through a WordPress.com account, WordPress.com Stats. Let's take a look at how to install, activate, and configure this plugin. So right now I'm on the Manage Plugins administration panel, and this plugin is not installed. So I'm going to go to Add New. What I can do here, the quickest way to find this thing is to just search for it. So I'm going to type in WordPress.com Stats and see what comes up. So what it's found here are all these different plugins that have WordPress.com stats in them. It's not any of these, so I'm going to keep scrolling down. Here it is right here, WordPress.com stats. Little description of it here. If I click here, it'll take me to the page for that plugin where I can learn more about it. But all I want to do here is just install it. So I'm going to click Install. And it brings up a window like this, and the first thing you might notice is this warning. This plugin has not been tested with your current version of WordPress. Now, it knows that I've got WordPress 2.7, and it's automatically warning me that it's not tested. However, I'm pretty safe with this because it's compatible up to 2.7 beta, and it requires 2.1 or higher, so there's a really good chance that this is going to work with it. What you do want to keep in mind, however, is that if you install a plugin and you activate it and your blog suddenly goes down, it's probably because of that plugin. So you'd want to either delete the plugin using FTP, or you could just turn it off if you have access to the plugins page. I'm just going to install this, so I'll click Install Now. And it's downloading it, unpacking it, installing it, and it's installed it. Now I have two options here. I can either activate it, because by default it's not activated, or I can return to the plugins page. I'm going to activate it. Now, like Akismet, this requires the API key in order to enable it. So it's telling me that it's activated, but it needs the API key, or I should disable the plugin. So I'm going to click this link here. It'll take me to a configuration page. And I've got my API key. It's on my WordPress.com profile. And again, if you don't have an API key, you don't have a WordPress account, create one. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Don't use my key. It won't work. I've selected it. I'm going to press Command-C to copy it, or Control-C on a Windows machine. I'm going to click in this box, Command-V or Control-V on Windows. I'm going to save it. And it's reminding me that it belongs to the Springfield K6 school account for WordPress.com, which is fine. I don't want to re-enter it. I'm going to use it as it is. If the blog is brand new and it's never been associated with your API key, you can add this to your WordPress.com account. So I'm going to do that right here. And now that account has access to this blog, which is okay. So what you're noticing here is that under plugins now you've got the WordPress.com stats, which is the administration panel we're looking at here. And that helps you to configure WordPress.com stats and get information about it. And also, if you look under the dashboard, you now have an option called Blog Stats. And if you click that, what this is telling us is that we're all set up. However, we just set this up. So how many stats could we have? So we basically have to wait until they've got some information. And it usually will take about 24 hours. It says here 20 minutes, but I would wait about 24 hours before I start checking it. Now let me show you what it would look like for a blog that had some stats already recorded. So this is an example of a blog with some stats recorded using the same feature. What it's doing is it's creating this little chart, and you can see how things are at this particular blog. This is actually a website for a new company. And if you point to a number, it tells you how many views. If you were to click that number, it would bring up information about that specific date. And if you scroll down here, it provides you with more information. Who people were referred by, where they heard about you, the companies that they clicked. This is for today and yesterday. And then the top posts and other titles of information that was clicked on. And then also outgoing clicks, what people are clicking on from the site. So this is the kind of information you'd have, and it's very valuable for you to analyze people coming to your blog. So though it may take a day or so for WordPress.com stats to start generating statistics about your site, it's a simple plugin that doesn't add any overhead to your WordPress's blog operation. All it requires is a free WordPress.com account, which you should already have if you use Akismet, and a few minutes to install and activate.